then they described for Jesus what had happened. In their words, they said he was a prophet who did mighty deeds. He was the one in whom his followers put great hope and great faith, but he had been arrested and executed. I wonder what Jesus was thinking when they were saying these things about Jesus. Finally, Jesus began to speak. And interestingly, the one whom these travelers said was the only one in Jerusalem who didn't know what was going on these days, actually was the only one from Jerusalem who knew what was going on and knew why it was going on. Jesus began to explore the Scriptures for these travelers so that they could see the heart of God and see God's plan for salvation. I think that Bible study they had on the road was a very special Bible study with a very special teacher. Eventually, they arrived at Emmaus, and the two travelers asked Jesus to stay longer with them. I think maybe they thought the Bible study was not quite over yet, and they wanted to hear more. When it was time to eat, interestingly, the one whom they asked to stay with them, in other words, the guest, Jesus the guest, turned out to be the host. Interesting change of roles. And Jesus is the one who broke bread, prayed, and the Bible says all of a sudden their eyes were opened. And they recognized who this person was. He was the one whom they had been talking about, the one they had been mourning, the one whom they felt had died and was gone. Jesus was walking with them all of this time. They just didn't recognize him. And they were walking with Jesus, and only until this point did they recognize him. Wouldn't that be a marvelous thing if you and I had opportunity, right, to walk with Jesus? Maybe sometimes we don't recognize, but the risen Lord is risen in order to be with us. Let me share an experience from last week that was not in my sermon. I went to a retreat this last week across the river in Alton, outside of Alton, actually outside of a small little town, Grafton, Illinois. Just outside of Grafton is a lovely State Park, Pere Marquette Park in Illinois. It is old. It was built, goodness, it was built probably 50, 60, 70 years ago. It has hotel, has restaurant, has meeting area, just a marvelous place. And it sits looking toward this big, at that point, very big Mississippi River. Really beautiful, and the sun comes up over that river, and, yeah, it's really gorgeous. But that river has gotten pretty high these days.